do a little introduction video. So this channel, if you are one of my older subscribers, used to be about my weight loss, doing alternate day fasting. I have not been doing alternate day fasting pretty much since January this year, so that's why I haven't uploaded any videos. I am doing low carb, high fat diet at the moment. I made myself a new commitment in October for my birthday that I would get the weight off by next year's birthday, so I am still doing that, but that is not what this channel is about anymore. I have now, as you've probably seen, have renamed it Julieanne's Jungle because through COVID, I have really gotten back into plants. I've really started collecting house plants, and yeah, that's my current passion apart from my crafting and my yarn dyeing, which my other channel, Lovebird Lane, is about. Just thought I would stop in here, say hi to the new people so you can learn a little bit more about me, and say bye to the people who are interested in just the weight loss stuff. If you're not interested in house plants, that is perfectly fine. Please feel free to unsubscribe. It's just not everybody's jam, and the weight loss thing isn't really where my focus is at the moment, and it's more on building my jungle pretty much. So yeah, thank you for sticking with me with the weight loss, but if it's not your jam anymore, if you're not into plants, bye. I guess feel free to unsubscribe, go with my blessing, shall we say. But yeah, for those of you who are here and you want to learn a little bit more about me, about the plants, my name is Julieanne, obviously, because that is the name of my channel, Julieanne's Jungle. And yeah, I live in South Australia, obviously. I live here in this house with my housemate and my husband and my dog and my bird. Like I said, I've been collecting house plants since probably August. I have developed quite a collection since August. I really have to stop spending money on plants because, you know, I have other priorities that I want to try and work towards. I have been doing tons of research, learning about the plants that I have, and really just wanted to share the joy with the world, because I've been watching quite a few planty YouTube channels, and I thought, well, why not throw my voice in there as well. It seems like such a fun community, and I'd love to make new planty friends, and yeah, I am here. My parents were very had very much a green thumb as I was growing up, and they always had plenty of plants. They always had a shade house that was full of plants. I can't remember so many indoor plants. I'm pretty sure my mum maybe had a monstera in the house, but yeah, they very much were shade house gardeners and always liked having a nice lawn and garden and things like that. So I kind of grew up around planty people, really. I had convinced myself that I wasn't a planty person simply because I killed so many as a kid. I always wanted to have plants. I had gerbera after gerbera in my bedroom that I was trying to grow. I had a bedroom that was east facing, but the window was like completely blocked by the next door neighbors, so there wasn't a lot of light in there, so I was trying to constantly bring in plants that probably had no chance of growing, and plus the fact that I was probably an overwaterer because all I wanted to do was love on my plants, and I think I probably killed them through too much water and too much love. I had gerbera after gerbera, always had those. I think I had a few air plants along the way. I remember I tried herbs. I tried a ton of freckle face plants. I used to have some planters of freckle face plants, but again, I think I just overwatered them and I just killed everything that I tried to grow. So I then told myself, oh, plants aren't for me, I don't have a green thumb, but all these guys that seem to be thriving around me at the moment, I've lost a couple. I don't know why. As a new gardener and wanting to amass indoor gardener, I suppose I could say, and wanting to amass a large collection very quickly, I've been buying a lot of very juvenile plants, like very, very small plants. And I think I've learned my lesson now that spending that little bit of extra money on a slightly more established plant is probably a better way to go. So, I mean, that would probably be my #1 piece of advice to anybody wanting to get into indoor plants, is definitely wait for you got a little bit more money so you can buy the slightly more mature plants, because that's what I'm learning now. Because most of the ones that I have lost have been in Australia. I don't know if they're everywhere else, but they're called bottle babies. So basically they're tiny weeny little plants that are supposed to be used for terrariums, but of course they mostly are not hybrid, like hybrid ones that make them small. They are just baby versions of the bigger plants. Most of the plants that I have lost have been those little baby plants. So, but I mean, anything that is has been a little bit more established, I'm finding I'm having a pretty good go with. So yeah, basically this has come out of me as a kid, really. I always loved having plants and being out in the shade house, and my folks always had, like, you know, donkey's tails and string of pearls and all of those sort of things that are hot right now. They always had all of those sort of hanging around, literally. You know, they had certain aroids and peace lilies and things like that. So I've always had kind of that more foliage type plant around me. And that is kind of what I like now. I'm not really into plants that flower, really. I mean, it's fine if a plant that I enjoy has a flower, but I mostly buy my plants for their foliage. So that is what I'm into. I've only just recently kind of got into Hoya as well, because there's such cool plants. And my first Hoya was actually this little guy up here, and he doesn't look very well. I actually found this guy at a local department store to us called Big W, and this is a Hoya compactor, just the regular version, and it was only $16, and I snapped it up as soon as I saw it, and I don't really know if it's alive, really. I mean, it's still green, and I was told, I think it was Plantarina the other day, said if you're unsure whether your Hoya is alive, scrape a little bit of the surface of one of the stems off, and if it's green underneath, then yeah, it's still alive, which this one is. It just looks a little bit sad and hasn't grown, although I know that the Hoya compactor is a very slow grower. So yeah, I've really recently got into Hoya. I love my philodendrons, I love calathea, alocasia. I have an amazing alocasia zebrina up here behind me somewhere next to my humidifier. I'm looking to do a houseplant tour at some point, probably not over the next 6 days, because here in South Australia we've just had a major lockdown announced for COVID, so it may not be the next week if my housemate and my husband are home, because I'm a little bit too shy to film around people just at this point in time. But yeah, that's pretty much me. I'm Julieanne. I like plants. If you like plants and you like me, or think that you could like me, remember to subscribe below, leave the video a thumbs up, and thank you so much for joining me, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!